Hey everybody, welcome back to Trail Expedition. My name is Scott, and in this video we have a fun install for you. We are going to be installing this Lensun 50 watt solar panel to the hood of my Gladiator. Stay tuned. So we are out here in the garage today for this install. So this specifically is the Lensun 50 watt solar panel that is specific to the Jeep Gladiator Rubicon. The Rubicon has a specific hood that has to have a certain panel. Now, if you guys have any other vehicle, for instance, my buddy Corey has a Jeep Gladiator as well. He's got the Overland model, and his hood is much different than mine, which allows him to run a 90 watt solar panel, so much bigger than this one. And they make solar panels for all kinds of vehicles. So you just got to get on their website, put in your vehicle, and they'll show you the exact one that's going to work for you guys. So everything that you see on this table is going to come with this kit. The solar panel itself. This is a vinyl piece that you can put down before you actually put the solar panel down. You actually don't have to use this vinyl piece. I am going to use it. And then you have the double-sided tape that's going to come with it. You have some zip ties, you just have a little squeegee, and then also the control box. Now, you can use as much of this kit as you want, or you can use as little of it as you want. Now, the things that I'm going to use the vinyl, but I'm actually not going to use the control box. The control box basically is if you want to supply constant power to your battery in your vehicle. Actually, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be hooking this directly to a portable power station. I have a Blue Yeti 200, which is a 2000 watt battery, and I just want something that I can use to keep it topped off at all times while I'm out camping and off-roading. So what we're going to do is we're going to install this, and then we're going to hook it into the Blue Yeti. That way we can continuously just keep it topped off. Now, when you guys install this, it is kind of a two-step process, if you're going to use the vinyl, that is. So you actually have to install the vinyl first, and then you have to wait 24 to 48 hours before you can actually install the rest of this. So that's going to be the first part of this. We're going to get the vinyl installed, and then we're going to have to wait a day or two, and then we'll go ahead and install the rest of this. All right, before you guys get started with this install, you're going to need a couple extra things here. So you're going to need some masking tape or painter's tape, some rubbing alcohol. I actually don't have a thing of rubbing alcohol in the house, but I have these little alcohol pads. And then you're going to need some paper towel, and then you're going to need a bottle with some soapy water in it. We're going to start with the soapy water. We're just going to get this all soaped up and then rinsed off. And then we're going to use the alcohol after that. We just want a really good clean surface before we put anything down. Done with the soap and the water. Now we're going to take our rubbing alcohol and prep this surface with rubbing alcohol. All right, so now that I know I have a nice clean surface after the soap and water, I'm going to take my rubbing alcohol and we're just going to prep it with that. This is basically just going to pick up anything the soap and water didn't. That way when you put the vinyl on, it's going to adhere to it. All right, so after you guys ensure that you have a clean surface, you're going to need your piece of vinyl, you're going to need your squeegee tool that comes with the kit, and then also they do suggest you bring a pen or a needle. That way when you're trying to get all the bubbles out from this, you can just use a pen. Now the first step before you lay this vinyl down is you actually want to get your soapy water again. You want to soap all this up. That way when you lay the vinyl down, it has some movement and some give to it. That way when you put it down, if you do it incorrectly the first time, you can move it into place. So let's move this out of the way and then put the soap and water down. All right, now that we have our soap and water down, so on this vinyl, they got these two open spots, and those are going to go over the two spots that you have for your. These are basically, if you ever put your hood all the way back to the hood of the roof of the vehicle, they're basically stoppers. Let's go ahead and peel this back. Trying my best not to have it stick to itself. Let's go ahead and Lay it down. As you can see, I didn't line it up correctly, so that's why having the soap and water down is extremely important on this step. All right, so once you guys have it down to about where you want it, you're gonna take this squeegee portion, the felt part of it, and you're just gonna kind of push all those air bubbles out. Kind of starting in the middle and just working my way out. All right guys, so now that we have our vinyl in place, it's not 100% perfect, but is it gonna keep me up at night? No. It's 95% of the way there. So I really can't attach this onto here yet until it cures for 24 to 48 hours. However, I can prep the back of the Lensun Solar Panel. So what I'm gonna do is, on the back of this panel, we're gonna clean it, and then we're gonna lay our double-sided tape down on it. And to clean it, we're just going to use our rubbing alcohol again. Just make sure we get all the impurities off from it, so that double-sided tape is going to stick really well. How they show to do this is you want double-sided tape on the edges, so here, 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 and here, and then we're going to do stripes around the middle. And then the front edge, which is right over here, they do call to reinforce this, so if you have extra tape, they say put extra strips along the part that's to the front of the hood line. So let's go ahead and do that. As you can see, I'm not going to be taking the other side of the tape off until I get ready to put it on the actual vinyl piece, and that won't be for a couple of days. All right guys, so they give you 2 of these, and this is how much just one covers. So I'm assuming they give 2 because the bigger watt solar panels, like the 90 watt, probably you need both of them. However, just 1 roll of these was more than enough for this 50 watt. I got all the sides, I have multiple going down the middle, and I still had this whole thing left over, so this is plenty. So now that I'm at a standstill, I had to let this sit for a couple of days, and then we'll come back and we'll finish off the rest of it. All right guys, it's a couple of days later, the vinyl is set in place. I'm gonna go ahead and clean it, and then we're gonna use the alcohol swabs to just get any residual residue off from there, and then we're gonna go ahead and put the solar panel down. Let's get to it. I'm just using soap and water, again, to clean it off. All right, so now I got my surface all clean. We're gonna take our alcohol swabs, and we're just gonna pick up any residual residue that may be on it. Like I said, the biggest thing, you want to make sure you have a completely clean surface to mount this to. If there's any kind of dirt, sand, anything, it's not going to mount well. All right, now that our surface is completely clean, we'll give it a minute to dry, and then we'll go ahead and get this solar panel installed. So now that our surface is dry, we're gonna kind of place this on here to kind of see where we want it. I still have the double-sided tape with the backing still on it. So let's go ahead and set this in place. Kind of see where I like it. What's nice about this panel is it has these kind of indentations, kind of right where these bump stops sit. Honestly, that looks pretty good right there. I might get a tape measure and just measure right here on the edges and make sure I'm even on both sides. So I'm 6.5 there, 6.5 there. All right, so that looks like the proper placement that I want. So next, I'm going to take my blue tape, and I'm actually gonna tape down this edge. And then once this edge is taped down, I'm gonna be able to flip this up, take the backing off the double-sided tape, and put it back down. So this tape will eventually come off. It's basically just gonna hold it in place. That way I don't want to move this at all. All right, so now that the panel is secure in place, let's go ahead and flip this up. Let's take all the double-sided tape off. All right, so now that all of our double-sided tape is off, we're gonna carefully lay this back down. And should sit right in the spot that we had it. Press it into place. Remove our painter's tape. Now, the next thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to have some weight on this just to kind of hold it into place. You can use anything that's around your house that's heavy. I have some weights from my weight room. So I'm going to put a couple beach towels down, and then we're going to put the weights on top of it. I'm just putting the beach towels down, that way the weights aren't going to hurt anything. All right, let's get some weight on this. All right, so I got about 100 pounds worth of weight on this thing. I tried to evenly distribute it the best I can. We're gonna let this sit on there for about an hour or two, take the weights off, and then wire this thing up. All right, so about an hour has gone by. I'm gonna get these weights off the hood of the Jeep, and then we're gonna get this thing wired up. As I said earlier, I'm not going to route this to the battery. I'm actually going to route this into the vehicle, and then it's going to plug into my Blue Yeti. That way I can constantly be charging as we're going down the road. So in order to get that wiring through here, you guys may actually have to take your hood and push it all the way back to the windshield. And then the plan is it's going to route behind this cowl, which this is my ARB airing up and airing down, but it's going to go through this cowl and then through the side of the door. There's a little plastic piece here that we can take off and hopefully snake it behind there. So I have the wire here, and there's actually this channel right here. I'm actually just going to tuck it right into that channel. And then it's going to go behind this cowl and then into the cab. So here's the wire coming through, and I don't want it to be pinched in the door. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this back, and we're going to hide it behind here, and then we're going to work it on down this way. So this wire here is the wire to my Blue Yeti, and I basically just snaked it through here, and then we're gonna, basically it's gonna sit underneath this panel, and then it's gonna hook into the Blue Yeti, which is behind this seat. All right, we're all plugged in. Now I just gotta wrap all this up. All right guys, and that's pretty much gonna wrap up the Lensun solar panel install. I think this is gonna be an awesome addition to my Overland setup. Can't wait to try it out. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one.